Now we need to understand next thing. How to go beyond the mind. How can we really understand that we can travel? It is not even traveling, it is just exploding. We can explore in all the space, vertically, horizontally, in all the direction. Not only vertically and horizontally, in all the direction, all the 360 degree, you can explore. How to bring this into a real experience, how to understand this, how to make it as a reality. Before I enter into a technique, first of all, the horizontal line has to be understood as the worldly life. There is no starting point. What you say as a starting point of the horizon, the line can have a starting point, but in the worldly life there is no starting point in the reality. The same way, vertical line, the line cannot go beyond the board. So I put the line. But in the spiritual life, there is no end. In spirituality, there is no end. We always think enlightenment is the end. Please be very clear, enlightenment is not the end. It's a new starting. It's a new beginning. I continuously read. People ask me, Swamiji, you are an enlightened person. Where are you reading still? I tell them, what do you mean by the word enlightenment? We always have an idea. Enlightenment is something like an end. No. It is ultimate, but it is not end. It is ultimate, but it is not end. The word ultimate is always understood in our mind, in our intellectual system as an end. But it is not. It's a new beginning of consciousness. What you understand as an end, surely enlightenment is something more than that. That is the reason the word ultimate has been used. Why we use the word ultimate to mention the enlightenment? Because whatever you understand you can't equate that with enlightenment. So, the vertical line has no end. Horizontal line has no beginning. So you can't travel in diagonal path. You don't even have to connect the horizontal line and the vertical line. Because you can explore. First thing, when you say you want to connect the horizontal line and vertical line, again you have a difference of horizontal line and vertical line. You continue to maintain the difference between horizontal line and vertical line. You try to connect the both. I say there is no need to connect them. You can travel in both the line in the same time, in same space. Try to explore, try to travel in both planes in same time and in same space. Why should you choose? Any choice, again you will be choosing in some other angle, with some other way. One person asked me, after our meditation camp, after our Ananda program, Swamiji, the feeling of this moment is so blissful. It is such an ecstasy. People who have attended, they know. It is such an ecstasy. Please, Swamiji, give me a technique. How can I retain this bliss? How can I have this bliss continuously? I tell them, the moment you want to retain this bliss, you start losing. Because the bliss itself is choicelessness. The feeling of bliss itself happens to you when you drop the idea, when you drop choosing between the horizontal line and vertical line. Bliss itself is choicelessness. When you start choosing the bliss, naturally bliss escapes from you. See, it's like you put both your hands in the river. As long as your hands are open, the river is in your hands. Water is in your hands. The moment you want to hold the river, you close your hands. You have only now empty hands. Same way, bliss also. As long as your being is open, without choosing between the horizontal line and vertical line, bliss flows through your being. The moment you choose, the moment you try to catch, either horizontal line or spiritual line, bliss just slips away. It just escapes from your being. I always tell the people, when the bliss happens to you, be blissful. Don't bother. Don't try to possess Nithyananda. The moment you try to possess bliss, the moment you try to possess the Nithyananda, simply it escapes from you. Simply, you yourself kill the bliss when you try to possess the bliss. So never have the idea to choose, the idea to possess. You will continuously be flooded with bliss. The moment you choose to bliss, the moment you choose to be in bliss, you miss the bliss. The moment you choose horizontal line, or vertical line, or diagonal line, or the range you try to hang somewhere else, the moment you choose, you miss. Whether it's horizontal line or vertical. That's nice. Again, perfectionism is the idea of choice. When the people who choose continuously, you can see they will be a perfectionist people. Continuously they will be expecting perfectionism. People who live in the choicelessness, you can see them totally relaxed, joyful, very relaxed. And one more thing, life cannot be perfect. If it is perfect, it can be only death. It can never be life. And I always feel, if you do one or two mistakes, you become more intimate with people. As long as you don't do any mistake, you don't respect others. It's a truth. As long as you don't do any mistake, you don't respect the people. You don't become ease with them. You keep only a professional relationship. When you do one or two mistakes, you start coming down. You relate to the people in a more simple way, in a more the way of simplicity than in a professional way. Yes. So they have done a good thing by doing one or two mistakes. When some one or two organizing mistakes happen, you can relate with the people more simple way. We can see, when we do some mistakes, we prove I am also like you. When we behave perfectly, we try to prove that I am somebody unique than you. The real relationship never happens if things go well. Please be very clear, we have a wrong idea. If things go well, only then the real relationship happens. No. If things go well, only professional relationship happens. If things don't go well, if you do one or two mistakes, only then the real relationship starts happening. Yes. Yes. Please give the mic to him. Yes. Please start. Yes, you can ask. I'll repeat the question. I'll repeat this question and try to explain. Here I emphasize from the beginning, please don't choose. Please don't think your spiritual life is something different from your so-called material life. And the beautiful word he asked, how can I renounce? Somebody asked me, Swamiji, should I renounce to become a full-time spiritual person? I told him, please renounce what you don't have, that is enough. Please renounce what you don't have. I am not asking you to renounce what you have. We never suffer with the things which we have. We suffer because of our fantasies and dreams, not because of the reality. Please be very clear. You suffer in your day-to-day life because of your dreams. You suffer in your relationships because of your fantasies. So drop what you don't have. What you have, live with that. Whatever is okay. Whatever is not, drop that. If you renounce just what you don't have, that is more than enough. I don't ask you to renounce what you have. Please Please live with whatever you have. Don't allow what you don't have to interfere in your real life. When you live with your real wife, don't allow your fantasy to come in between you and your wife. When you live with your real car, don't allow your fantasy car to come in between you and your real car. When you live in your real house, don't allow your fantasy home, your dream home, to come in between you and your real home. That is what is my request. The whole spirituality is not about renouncing what you have, it's about renouncing what you don't have. So please renounce what you don't have. That is more than enough. Naturally, your whole life will be different. So here I answer this question. I am not asking you to renounce your home or your life. I am asking you to renounce the idea that renunciation is the only remedy. Please renounce the idea of so-called renunciation. The renunciation should be understood in a different dimension. That is what they beautifully in Sanskrit they put Maya. Maya means Yama iti Maya, which is not there, but which gives you the trouble as if it is there, is Maya. The real life, actually the whole trouble is created not by the things which you have, but by the things which you don't have. You don't have, but you want to have. So renounce what you don't have, that is more than enough. There is no need for renouncing what you have. Renounce your fantasies. Renounce your dreams. That is more than enough. Nothing else is necessary. Next question. Please have the mic. Just a minute. Oh. Now you can. Yes, you can say.
What we are discussing about the horizontal power and vertical power, that is, tradition or materialistic, and which is spiritual. The spirituality becoming not a hard life, but it will become a part of the life. Does it amount to say that every moment what you do, the worldly or investment, it will transform into a spirituality to understand for all others, for practicing purpose? Does it mean by way of detachment?
One thing, when you live deeply in every moment, you are living in a totally detached way. If you live, you can live. When you don't live, only then you can't live. The fear of detachment is nothing but, in reality, if you see, why we are so afraid of detaching? Because we have not lived. If you really live, even a single moment, your life, you will not have the fear to detach yourself from the life. If you live, you will understand attaching and detaching, living or leaving. Both are only two different words, but the experience is one and the same. Experience is just one and the same. As long as you have the idea, the spirituality is a part of your life, a part-time job. You can neither become spiritual nor become worldly. All our ideas about so-called worldliness and so-called spirituality is just junk. Nothing but junk. It is just words, hypocrisy. Whatever you call as a spirituality is nothing more than some doings, some actions. Whatever you call the ritual or any practice, it is just skin deep. Either you do it physically or mentally. Both are not going to transform you. Something more than physical or mental action, what I call inspiration, is necessary to experience the truth, to experience the missing link. The missing link is what I call living in the moment, living in the present moment. When you live in the present moment, you discover the missing link between worldly life and the spiritual life, then you will really understand what I mean by the word quantum spirituality. You don't have to bother about traveling in the horizontal line or traveling in the vertical line. You don't have to have the idea, if I travel in the horizontal line 100 kilometers, I will miss my travel in the vertical line. No. Just you can explore in horizontal line and in vertical line in the same time, in the same space.
That means that every point of the horizontal line can have a vertical line.
Every point of the house, because you have some other choice. You have some other choice. If you really don't have any other choice, mentally, if you really don't want any other choice, if you don't have a dream home, if you don't have any other fantasies about bigger house, or a different bungalow, or a different place to live, naturally you will not suffer. The moment idea of your dream home enters into your life, the moment the idea of dream home enters in between you and your home looks like hell. Your home looks like hell. The moment the idea of beauty enters in between you and your body, understand a simple thing. When you start thinking somebody is beautiful and you are not up to the mark, you create a gap between you and your body. You start creating a gap between you and your body. I am not saying male feeling a man feeling a woman as a beautiful. I am not telling that. I am telling a man feeling another man as beautiful. Women feeling another woman as a beautiful person. A man, if he feels somebody else's body is beautiful, he should also look like that person. He starts creating a gap between he and his own body. He starts creating a gap between his consciousness and his body. He starts losing sensitivity. Everyone is beautiful unto himself. There is no scale that somebody is beautiful and somebody is ugly. You are unique unto yourself. Everybody is beautiful. See, God is not an engineer to make a mold and create a continuous same type of people. God is a painter, He is an artist. He paints every one of you. He designs every one of you. God is a painter, God is an artist. If He is an engineer, naturally what He will do? He will do mass production. He will do mass production, make a best mold, best nose, best eyebrows, best face structure, best body structure, start molding. Just do the mass production. But God is not engineer. He is an artist. He paints every one of us. The moment you start thinking somebody else is beautiful, I am not up to the mark, you start creating gap between you and your body. Naturally you become less sensitive to your body. You stop living inside your body. One of the biggest problems in our life is not living inside your boundary. We continuously live somewhere else. For example, the moment you get up from your bed and start brushing your teeth, you are in the office. You start thinking about the office. The moment you come to your dining table, you are worrying about your evening program. The moment you are in the office, you start thinking about the evening program, some temple or some beach or some program where you are supposed to go. The moment you come and sit in that lecture, you start thinking about your house, when this Swami will end the discourse, when I can go back to the house, there is so much to be done in the house. The moment you go back to your house, you start thinking about tomorrow morning work. One thing you can be sure, if your body is here, you are not here. That has become a way of life. That has become a way of life. If your body is somewhere, you are not there. That has become a way of life. So why we don't live inside our body? The moment you have an idea, somebody is beautiful than you, somebody looks nice than you, the moment you start decorating yourself to look like somebody, you start creating gap between your consciousness and your body. Whenever you bring fantasies, dreams between you and your real life, you bring Maya to disturb you. It is you who invite Maya into your life to disturb you. All our problems in relationship is nothing but the expression of our fantasies. Because of our fantasies, we start expressing, we start creating problems. I always tell you, it's a simple thing. Please understand. You don't have to renounce what you don't have. You don't have to renounce what you have. Just renounce what you don't have. That is more than enough. This is the simple understanding which you can have about the Maya. Next question.
What I understand, having taken birth in the material world, no need of selecting. There is nothing like spiritualism, there is nothing like materialism.
That's right.
One has to simply accept the things around him as it is.
That's all.
And be conscious and continue.
That's all. That is what I want to say. You put it in the 3 words. Beautiful. Thank you. That is why the first sutra of the Upanishad says, Isha Vashyam Idam Sarvam. That's all. Upanishad does not say there is something called divine, there is something called energy, and there is something called material. No. Isha Vashyam Idam Sarvam. The word Idam means, and the word Sarvam means everything. Just everything. Sarvam means nothing is excluded. Just everything is divine. Only one thing we need. We need to renounce the idea of materialism and spirituality, nothing else. But if you want to really progress in spiritual life, just drop the idea of materialism and spirituality. If you want to become enlightened, just drop the idea of enlightenment. That's enough. Nothing else is necessary. There's a beautiful example given by Ramana Maharshi. The idea of spirituality is like a stick which is used to burn the dead bodies. See, to burn a dead body, they will use a big stick. They will use the stick and beat the body and push it again and again into the fire to burn. The moment the body is burned, the stick also will be thrown into the fire. Same way, the idea of spirituality is brought into our life to burn the idea of materialism. Once you understand, both are just things to be burned. Throw both, drop both. You will simply become enlightened. The idea of spirituality, the idea of materialism, when it is dropped, you enter into a different space called quantum spirituality. Living without words, living in a wordless space. That is what I call quantum spirituality. Let me answer the next question. Then we will enter into the technique of living in the wordlessness, or living in the space where words does not exist. Words are only making the difference. Words are only creating the boundary of horizontal line and vertical line. When you drop the words, when you drop the ideologies, when you drop the ideas, the difference between horizontal line and the vertical line simply disappears.
As you know that intelligent people can't meditate more than 21 days. Does that mean that?
No, I don't say they can't meditate more than 21 days. They can't do any technique or ritual without inspiration more than 21. With inspiration more than 21 days. Now, please ask your question. Please put your question fully. That's all. That's a wonderful question. In today's world, material world, we have good and bad energy. Naturally, we find bad energy or black energy raising its ugly head. How could meditation solve this problem? Please be very clear. The first idea, in today's world, we have good energy and bad energy. the question should be understood a little deeply. Don't think only in today's energy we have good energy and bad energy. Even in those days, even 5,000 years ago, there was good energy and bad energy. Do you know? The writings, which is carved, the stone writings, which is done in Mesopotamian culture 5,000 years ago. Even in those writings, there are words which say, nowadays the world has become very bad. Nowadays, lot of bad things have started happening. Now nothing goes according to Dharma. Things have changed a lot. 5,000 years ago, the same words. Please be very clear. There was no time when only good prevailed. It is just an idea. From the beginning, or if there is a beginning at all, if there is a beginning, from the beginning, I can say good and bad both existed. So understand, not only in today's world, it was continuously existing. One more thing, how could we find bad energy or black energy raising its ugly head? I don't think negative energy can raise its head against positive energy. Maybe you are getting more information about negative energy, that's all. Somebody asked me, Swamiji, why in those days, in Buddha's time, only one enlightened master were there. Buddha's time you can see only Buddha was there, then only Mahavira, only few enlightened masters. Nowadays in the modern world, so many enlightened masters are there, so many spiritual gurus are there. Why? I simply gave an answer. It's a simple thing, nothing. It's just because of website. Just because of internet. See, Buddha didn't have a website. Buddha didn't have an internet connection. So now we have a communication. Now we have all the facility. In Buddha's time also, enough of enlightened masters existed. Please be very clear. The number of enlightened masters is same. It is never high or low. It is same. But in Buddha's time, there was no internet. Now, the communication is there. That's all. Maybe because of communication, you get more news about negative energy or black energy. Otherwise, I don't think the energy gets imbalanced. World continuously runs between the negative and positive energies. So, if you understand, it is just your mental perception. If you wear a green glass and look at the whole world will look like a... Look as you look. There is a small example, beautiful example from Quran. If a donkey looks at the mirror, what it will see? Naturally a donkey. Same way, if you look at the world and you say the world is full of negativity, please be very clear, you need to work on you, not on the world. That is what in Vedanta they say beautifully. Drishti Srishti and Srishti Drishti. These two terms, if you understand, this whole idea you can understand. Srishti Drishti and Drishti Srishti. Srishti Drishti means you see what exists. Srishti is existence. Drishti means you are seeing. You are seeing what exists. But Vedanta says, Drishti Srishti. You see, actually, you just create what you want to see. You don't see what exists. You create what you want to see. Even in the field of psychology, the psychologists they say, if 100 things happen around you, only 2 things are taken note, you note down, you look or you feel, you understand, only 2 things. You just eliminate all the 98 things. Your attention falls only on 2 things. So naturally what you do, you see the things only which you want to see. You see the things only which you want to see and the way in which you want to see. There are 2 things. One is collecting the argument and giving judgment. Another one is having the judgment will be ready and you collect the arguments to support the judgment. So in our life, Most of the time, judgment is ready. You just collect the arguments to support the judgment. So, your idea, the negative energy has become more in this modern world, or today's world. I am not able to accept this idea. Negative and positive, both are there on the planet Earth from the beginning. So it is just what you see. One more thing. Krishna calls Dharmaraja and Yudhishthira. There's a beautiful small story in Mahabharata. Krishna calls the Duryodhana and Yudhishthira and says, Duryodhana, go and get at least one good person. And says to Dharmaraja, go and get at least one bad person. Both came back, get behind. So it is just what you understand. So it is just because of newspapers and website, not because of anything else. And understand, it is just your idea. Naturally you can go beyond. Swamiji, Namaste. Is it enough if we are doing our duties daily as it has to be done? Is it enough? Or we are missing anything which we are not doing, which has to be done? It's a wonderful question. As long as you have an idea, duty, you will always feel you are missing something. Please be very clear. As long as you have an idea, you have some duty, be sure you will always feel you are missing something. The concept of duty only creates an idea that you are missing something which has to be done. I tell you, just drop the word duty and live your life fully. At any moment. Now when we enter into the technique, we'll be analyzing the technique. I think it is time to enter into the technique. Let me give you the technique. Just start living in the wordless space inside your body, inside your boundary. Please understand this technique. Just start living inside your boundary. If you are here, you know your boundary, your skin. Your skin is your boundary. Just start living inside your boundary without having any word, without continuously passing judgment. Even now, when you are listening to this discourse, part of one group of people, oh, Swami is a wonderful orator. He speaks nicely. These are all great ideas. You are passing judgment. All you say, I don't think this is going to work for my life. Anyhow, I have come just because my wife called, let me sit. Anyhow, I have come just because my husband called, let me sit. Either you pass judgment, I will go and practice in the house, or you pass the judgment, this is not going to work. Even now, you are continuously passing judgments. If you can spend at least few minutes inside your space, inside your boundary, without passing judgment, you will experience what I call as quantum spirituality. You will experience the space of wordlessness. Please understand just these two ideas. Please be inside your boundary. Please be where you are and without words. Please be as you are. Please be where you are and please be as you are. That is what I call living here and now. If you are here, just be here. If you are in now, just be in now. Living moment to moment, living in this present moment can give you the missing link between spirituality and materialism. As long as you live in future or in the past, you will be living only a materialistic life. Even in your spirituality, if you are fantasizing about your enlightenment, please be very clear, you are in materialistic world or spiritual materialistic world. I have seen many people coming and asking me, Swamiji, when I will become enlightened? Enlightenment, why don't you just be in the present moment? You are already enlightened. No, I am not living like you. You say I am enlightened, but I am not living like you. Again, the idea about me has become the idea about enlightenment. Again, you have a goal. Between you and your enlightenment, don't allow me to enter. Between you and your home, don't allow your dream home to enter. Same day, between you and your enlightenment, please don't allow me to enter. You have an idea, you have a fantasy, how an enlightened master will be. So when you allow the idea of enlightened master inside your mind, in your life, you miss enlightenment. Buddha says beautifully, if I come in your path, please kill me. Buddha says beautifully, if I come in your path, please kill me. You may be shocked. How can Buddha say such a thing? But he says, the idea of Buddha is the only distance, or let's say, is the only reason why you are missing your Buddhahood. The idea of Buddha, the idea of enlightenment, if it is dropped, immediately you understand, you realize you are in Buddhahood. You are in Buddhahood. Live in the present moment. Naturally you will see, you will experience the missing link between the spiritual world and the material world. Let me explain the technique with a small diagram. With a diagram, the technique can be understood more easily. Then we will enter into the technique, or not even a technique, a techniqueless technique. Enter into that space for a few minutes. We'll try to enter into that space, experience that space, just for 3-4 minutes. Let me try to explain the technique. Then you'll be able to enter into that space. Please understand this drawing. This is a time shaft. Consider and understand time as a shaft. Future in capital letters because you have all your goals there. Past in small letter because it is already finished. Continuously your being or your life is moving from future. The past is just taking the future inside. The future is just entering into the past continuously. The future is becoming past continuously in your life. This is a time shaft. Here all your past incidents are printed. Here all your future incidents are printed. You are continuously traveling from future to past. The shaft is rolling and continuously moving inside the past. When your mind is continuously moving between past and the future, past and the future, past and the future, between past and the future, past and the future, between past and the future, you are simply away from the time shaft. You are here. And at the thought level, when the frequency of thought comes down step by step, for example here, 100 thoughts per minute. 100 thoughts per minute, TPM. If 100 thoughts per minute is the speed, you will be there. When it becomes 80, you come down slowly near the time shaft. When it becomes 60, you come down again here. When it becomes 40, 20, when you can reduce the number of thoughts per minute to 0, you touch the time shaft. If you come down towards the time shaft, you will be able to see the past and the future of your life. It may look like a fairy tale. The Swami is giving some hope that you will be able to see your future. Let me explain this with a more clear example. First please just you understand the diagram, then I will try to explain with a more clear example. Let me explain how. In one of my meditation camp, one devotee asked me, Swamiji, many times I feel when I sit and chat with my friends, suddenly I feel with the same group of friends, the same place, sometime I sat and I had the same conversation. Again I am having the same conversation. Or when I attend some party, when I go to some of my friend's house, first time I will be going, but suddenly I have a feeling, already I have come to this house, already I have been here, already I have visited this house, and suddenly I feel, I know which room is which side and where the things are there, and the same day, exactly, if I express how I felt, it becomes simply truth. The things are there, wherever I feel, or how I felt intuitively. One more thing, sometimes I attend some party, and suddenly I feel, I attended the same party already once, and in few minutes somebody is going to come, and simply I feel that somebody is really there. After a few minutes I see the person is there, and if a telephone bell rings, suddenly I remember some of my friends' name whom I have not seen for 10 years or 5 years, and I pick up the phone, simply that person is there, the line. The same way when somebody knocks at your door, you remember some of your friend or relative's name. You go and open the door, that person is there. He asked me, how this experience happens? How this experience happens? So many times in my life, I feel that what is going to happen in the next 5 minutes, and simply it happens. I start feeling that somebody is going to come, and simply that person is there within 5 minutes. How this happens? Then I asked in that same meditation camp, how many of you had this experience at least once in your life? You can raise your hands. How many of you had any one of this type of experience? More than 40%. Understand? Here itself.
Some inborn instinct tells us.
Please understand, more than 40% of you have this experience in your life, but we don't analyze how it happens. Or we use like this word, some inborn instinct. When we label that experience with the word inborn instinct, we stop searching further. See, in so many persons' gardens, apple drop from the apple tree. But people never thought about it. Either they picked it and ate, or they sold. Only this guy Newton thought about it. When he started thinking, when he started analyzing, he created a theory, he created a law, he created a new understanding. The same way, when you start thinking about this experience, you will be able to understand. If you start analyzing, you will be able to understand what I say by this time shaft theory. Please understand, this cannot be an inborn instinct, or this cannot be a coincidence. How can coincidences happen in so many persons' life in so many times. So something more than coincidence is there in this incident. And one thing you should understand, that in existence there is nothing called coincidence. When you don't know the link between the cause and the effect, you call it as a coincidence or miracle. That's all. When you don't know the missing link, when you are not able to connect the cause and the effect, if the effect is small, you call it as coincidence. If the effect is big, you call it as miracle. But in existence, no coincidence and no miracle. Everything is clear happening. Everything is clear incident. Now let you understand how this happens in our life. For one moment, when you come to the present moment, when you come to the here and now, you have the vision, you have the clarity to look into the future, to look into the future, not the past. For moment, for a kshana, knowingly or unknowingly, fortunately or unfortunately, the number of thoughts, the frequency of thoughts come down. When the frequency of thoughts comes down, when it comes down from 100 to 80, or 80 to 60, or 60 to 40, you are able to see the time shaft in a more clear way. If your mind is oscillating between the past and the future, you are too far from the time shaft. You are not able to see your past or your future clearly. If you come near the time shaft, you will be able to see your future very clearly. If you come down to the 80 level, you will be able to see certain amount of your future. If you come down little more, you will be able to see little more space. If you come down straight to the shaft, you will be able to see the whole shaft. You will be able to see the whole future. If you can penetrate the time shaft, when I say the word penetrating the time shaft, continuously living here and now, you will go beyond the kala. You will go beyond the past and the future bondages. You can simply create your future. When you start living the present moment, you penetrate the time shaft, you create a gap between your past and the future. The moment you separate your past and the future, your past no more plays a role on your future. Your future is in your hands. As long as your past plays a role on your future, it is in the hands of karma. When you detach your past and the future, when you separate your past and the future by penetrating the time shaft, by living in the present moment, naturally your future comes under your influence. You decide about your future. Your whole future comes in your hands. It may look like a fairy tale, but when you understand it deeply, when you go a little deeply into this time shaft theory, you will be able to penetrate a different space. You will be able to experience a different space, which I call quantum spirituality and quantum meditation. Just a small understanding. When you come down to this level, you will be able to see this much of your past and this much of your future. When you come down to this level, you will be able to see this much of your future and this much of your past. When you come down to this level, you will be able to see this much of your future and this much of your past clearly. When you come down to this level, this much and this much. When you come to the time shaft, when you touch the time shaft, you will be able to see your whole future and you will be able to see your whole past. When you start living in here and now, when you start living in the present, neither moving in the past nor moving in the future, you start penetrating the time shaft. If you stay in that present moment just for 21 shana, you penetrate the time shaft and create a gap between the past and the future. Then you are no more bound by the karma. Karma means past. All your past decisions only is called as karma or samskara. Whatever you call it, karma, samskara or maya, is nothing but your past decisions. When you create a gap between your past and the future, when you break the time shaft and you penetrate the time shaft, your whole future comes under your control. Your whole future comes under your control. Naturally, you create your future. That's what I say. If you live in the moment to moment, if you live in the present moment, if you live in a meditative way, your life is in your hands. Your life is in your hands. That's a beautiful understanding. Your past can never be changed. Either you can detach yourself from the past, or you live in the same second. If you want to go beyond your past, if you want the transformation, the only way is quantum spirituality. There is no way of altering your past. There is no way of just having a little bit of past and correcting it, chiseling it here and there, putting a little perfume and having a little good smell around it. No. Nothing is going to work. Either you totally break from the past or you continue to live in the past. If you want to penetrate the time shaft, if you want to break yourself free from the past, if you want real transformation, start living in the moment to moment. Start penetrating your time shaft. Start moving into the present moment. Now, we will have a few minutes just to penetrate your time shaft, just to be in the present moment. Please understand these three instructions. Only these three instructions. Don't move out of your body. Just live inside your boundary. If you are here, just be here. Feel the boundary and be inside the boundary. First thing. Second thing, try to drop the words. Just try to relax from the words. Third thing, when you are not able to drop from the words, just witness the words. Just witness the words. Witness that you are just not able to drop the words. Even the witnessing that you are not able to drop the words is more than enough to drop the words. You will enter into a different space where you can have glimpse of quantum spirituality. This is what I call quantum meditation. The understanding is quantum spirituality. The meditation is quantum meditation. When you enter into this quantum meditation, quantum spirituality will become your life. When you enter into your quantum spirituality, quantum meditation will become your life. There is no two different things, spirituality and meditation. Path and the goal. There is only one thing, path and the goal. There is no two different things, path and the goal. There is only one thing, path and the goal. There is only one thing. You enter into this present moment. You will see your path and the goal is achieved. Vivekananda says, arise, awake, stop not till the goal is reached. But I say, arise, awake, stop, the goal is reached. Thank you.